All right, well, thank you for your interest in the weekly macro themes and in top-down charts. So what I wanted to do with this video is just give you a quick introduction to myself, the report, and the process, the way I go about things. So first of all, the report, basically it's a weekly publication. The focus is on generating a mix of global macro insights, so bringing you that top-down view, the insights to help inform your macro view, as well as looking across global asset markets, and that could be anything from equities, commodities, and that can be a global equity view or down to a specific market, specific commodity, and across the full range. So also looking at high yield credit, in pretty much all the major asset classes, as well as a few pretty interesting ideas as well. And the emphasis on that is to, number one, of course, look at good opportunities to add to the portfolio, so money-making opportunities, investment ideas, but then also, of course, trying to identify some of the potential risks that are floating out there, and that can be anything from some sort of longer-term risk that's building up, or even just more of a shorter-term tactical view, that may be quite important, particularly if you're thinking about that asset class, or if you're thinking about even things like rebalancing decisions. And so that's pretty much the main emphasis of that, and it's very chart focused, very chart heavy. The point of that is to basically make it easier for you to read. And of course, for paying subscribers, they're very much encouraged to use the charts. So whether that's using them in an internal presentation, or for discussing an idea with colleagues, or even in things like board reports to investment committees, or even external publications, we're happy for you to use them if you're a paying subscriber. And of course, very happy to work with our subscribers if you're working on any particular issues, or indeed if you wanted help generating or building some sort of chart pack. But we can talk about that at the right time. I mean, in terms of the process, how I go about things, the key for me really is to look for extremes. So extremes in valuations, extreme in sentiment, or extremes in economic activity. So the best opportunities often come from extremes, but the other key thing for me is to really focus on using multiple factors. So I'm not somebody who's just going to look at valuation, and I'm not somebody who's just going to look at technicals or just at the economics. I'm going to take a full picture. So oftentimes that means bringing in valuation as your anchor, looking at cyclical indicators, what's going on in the monetary policy side of things, and then also bringing in technical tools to help finish sort of the timing. And technical analysis, can usually be quite good in terms of generating ideas. So, if something was about to break out, if something's already broken out, looking and seeing if there's a good fundamental catalyst for that, because I often find that some of the best opportunities are when you've got something like a technical setup, which comes with a fundamental catalyst. And so that's pretty much the basic philosophy of my approach, or the basic approach. Very much charts, chart-driven, data-driven, charts over opinion, but you still got to tell a story with it as well, and that's where I try to add value in quite a few different ways in the report itself. So my background, top-down charts, basically at the moment is just myself, hoping for it to be growing over time and hoping to be growing with my clients as well. So my background, I've spent the last 8 years working across a range of different investment strategy, economics, analytical kind of roles. Most recently working in the investment strategy economics team of a large regional asset manager. And so, when I talk about this product as being aimed at multi-asset investors, the reason why I say that is because this is coming from having worked in that background, having actually produced this kind of research specifically for multi-asset portfolio managers, and also speaking very much to other types of managers, be they fixed income, equity, managers that are touching on the specific asset class, or a range of asset classes. So So that's the perspective that I'm bringing to it, and I think that it's a pretty good quality product. I've had a lot of very good feedback about it so far. The subscriber base is slowly but steadily growing. And just briefly to my educational background, I should say that as well. So I've got 2 master's degrees, one in banking, one in finance. People often ask me, are you an economist? And I say, no. I mean, I could call myself an economist if I wanted to, but the reason why I look at economics is ultimately because trying to figure out ways to improve risk-return outcomes. So the only reason I really got into economics and really studied it was always practical reasons. So how can you understand the key macroeconomic drivers to try and make a good call on a currency, or how can you bring in the economic insight to really inform the view on what levers you should be pulling in the portfolio. Should we be increasing equity exposure, growth exposure, or should you be increasing exposure to bonds? Or and also uncovering the risks that stem from that side of things. And I've also been studying technical analysis in quite a bit of detail as well, and that's just to round out the skill set. I think it's a bit small-minded for some people have this perspective that you should only use valuation, or that you should only use technicals, but I think that why would you limit your toolbox to just a hammer? If you can also put a pair of pliers and a saw and all the rest of it in there, just means that you're more capable and more able to add more value. And so that pretty much wraps it up. More than happy to get online and have a video conversation with you, or get on the phone. Often end up traveling as well, so if I end up in the area, I'd be more than happy to meet you and talk more detail about what we can do to help your own portfolio, or help your investors' portfolios.